Um, yeah, someone's gonna turn up the sound. We're in a pub. We thought it'd be good to be in a pub. Do you know why? Because actually, it's the India-Pakistan game going on, and Sean, it would be a nice time to reflect on the week gone by, as we kind of in the distance um, watch the commotion, the pandemonium, eh?
Yeah, there's full attention on this match today. There's not too many other people considering any other team in the tournament. This could almost be the World Cup final, to be honest, the way we're feeling the vibes here today. But yeah, the first week's been interesting, hasn't it? I mean, wouldn't have maybe expected that start from Australia. South Africa have been good, they've ticked off all the boxes. But I don't know, we were discussing the other day, it's kind of like, is there just 6 teams competing for 4 spots?
I don't know.
I think there's going to be more of an impact from Bangladesh and Sri Lanka.
I suppose that means Bangladesh and Sri Lanka are not in the 6 you're talking about. Tell me of the 6. And South Africa have started well, so have New Zealand. India, definitely, with
Pakistan,
a couple of
got their 2
Pakistan with a couple of wins.
England have got 1.
England, you're throwing them in there. And who's the other one?
Australia's the other one.
Oh, even though they're none from
lost
2.
Yeah. I'm still thinking they'll beat the other 4 teams.
Okay.
And then it's down to how they play against England.
All right. Well, that's
Pakistan.
interesting. I find that particularly interesting because I don't know. I did a few of these previews before, and I don't have them as one of the top 4 actually. I suppose if you're talking 6, if you're asking me, I'd say yeah, they'll probably be in the top 6, and the others to be sort of spoil sports. Okay.
The reason why I say that, I mean, I don't think Afghanistan and Netherlands, I think we can agree that they're not going to sustain a continued performance. I think they'll definitely surprise teams. There's a few wins around the corner.
Yeah.
Especially as the surfaces change and maybe bring teams closer together.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka, just bowling wise, after that first game against Africa, I mean, you heard about the injuries, but until you see it firsthand, of the guys they're missing in the bowling attack,
Saharan, Tikshana didn't even play in that game. And Chamira's not even there.
Then you think, I don't know if they could sustain. They will also spring a surprise and win a few games, but I don't think they can sustain it enough to get through. And then Bangladesh, I was a little bit disappointed with what I saw. We did the game against England. I was a little bit disappointed. It kind of, you didn't get that feeling like they felt they could win.
Yeah. And this is supposed to be their format. In times past, this has been their format, hasn't it? Where you think they can turn big sides over.
Because they don't really have the firepower in the T20 game. I mean, they've got good players, don't get me wrong, and guys will get scores. As far as smashing it out of the ground, no matter what's the size of the stadium is, it's maybe not their forte. So, so that's the way I kind of see it. And maybe I'll be proved wrong.
Maybe, never know.
For now, that's where my headspace is at.
You never know, I guess. Process of elimination, which kind of works for everyone. That's on paper. That's as we think about it right here. Pitches, you said, as the pitches change. Tell me how you found them, looking at all the various grounds. We haven't quite touched all grounds. I think Kolkata we haven't seen as yet. To this point, we haven't seen Mumbai as yet, and Pune. So, but what about what you've seen so far?
I mean, I can remember we played Champions Trophy here, and when you didn't play against India, it was a different kind of surface. And I think that's what we've seen. Also, first games, leaving a little bit of grass on, knowing that the tournament's going to transpire, and they might have to play some more on those same pitches. The only one which was probably truly Indian would have been the one that India produced in Chennai. But in saying that, Chennai, I don't think you can do anything else in Chennai. I think Chennai is like, you can get a flatter version or you can get a turning version. So I wasn't too surprised with that. But I mean, we've watched a little bit of this India-Pakistan game, and it'll be interesting to see how that surface goes.
I mean, turning up here, I thought that early season, as an early tournament, it would be faster pitches, there'd be a bit more grass on there. South Africa would have been ecstatic about the 2 pitches they played on because there was a little bit of grass and it made a difference to both their batters and to their bowlers. So that's quite nice for South Africa. And playing Australia on that one in Lucknow, nobody really knew, relayed and not sure what was going to happen, but it bounced, and it also seemed. It was a bit too paced, particularly at the beginning, and South Africa did well to
Yeah, I think they
kind of
definitely got the
navigate
best
their
of it,
way.
didn't they?
Yeah.
They got the best of the surface there, South Africa. I mean, we didn't have a clue. And everyone we asked, whether it be Quinny or the perceived local,
Yeah.
he didn't really. Other thing I do think is from a bowler's perspective, I think they'll get more convincing as the tournament goes on. I think sometimes these tournaments, particularly when it's flat up front, you rock up and you're like, what's my game plan? And then after a game or two, you're like, oh, I'm going to come up with something new.
Yeah.
So I think probably South African game was the one where the bowlers had the biggest impact. I mean, when I say that, I'm not saying about New Zealand bowling Afghanistan out cheaply or that kind of thing, but I'm saying in one of the big games, I think the bowlers will start to work things out, and I think the spinners will come into their own a bit more as the weeks go on.
Good shout, actually, because it leads to the 11 centuries we've had in 11 games. It's unheard of. I can't think of a time. So I was trying to go through the World Cups in my head. So I did 99, and 99, you remember the ball swinging, like a whole league, like going everywhere. And so you kind of think early in the tournament, that's kind of what happens, where there'll be a whole lot of movement, and admittedly that was a tournament in England, but I think South Africa as well, early in the tournament, it wasn't as if people were filling their boots. It was much later in the tournament. Think to 2019, I'm trying to think how that sort of began, and that was okay, but it wasn't everybody getting 100. Again, that one was in England, so yeah. Are you surprised that it's gone that way?
Not 100% surprised. I think I was expecting the start of the tournament to be badly dominated. I suppose the fact that you get South Africa getting 3 in one game helps out. I mean, that's never happened before in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've got class players, and also against the lesser sides. There might have even been more if some of those big teams had batted first.
Yeah.
Against the lesser bowling attacks. But as I say, I do think things will balance themselves out. But from the batter's perspective, it's always nice to sort of get a little hunt under your belt at the start of the campaign.
Just 1-5 left arm spin as well, Mitch Santner. Now, and I just put that out there because I'm thinking, spinners to do good things and whatever, but I think it's going to be balance in bowling attacks actually as we go. Who has caught your eye? If I said to you, right, we've had a week and I need you to kind of rack your brain and say, well, I expected this from so and so and such and whatever, but what I didn't expect is this.
Well, definitely the boy from New Zealand, Rachin.
Oh, Rachin Ravindra.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't expect that. In fact, when I looked at the scorecard, I thought he'd been sent up as a pinch hitter because I hadn't really done too much on the New Zealand and watched their progress. But he was fantastic. And then this chap Hussain from Pakistan, that 100 that he got. Is it Hussain at the top?
Shafiq.
Yeah.
Abdullah Shafiq.
Yes.
Yeah.
He looks like the proper business. They always produce some good batters, but I've known about most of them.
Yeah.
But at the first look at him, I was impressed. So those are two names I wouldn't have really even been able to tell you about at all. Didn't even kind of know that they were on the radar, rocking up here. And what I've seen from those two has been pretty much worth watching.
Yeah. Final thought. In Pakistan's side, I'm with you with who kind of wasn't on the radar, and you might have thought Rachin Ravindra definitely sort of the one to watch for me as we go in the tournament and see if he can sustain after such a good start. It's not so simple, is it, to carry on going and getting centuries, because he'll definitely be picked now. That's something else that I think we should talk about is New Zealand. Yes, they're winning. They're also very keen to get Kane Williamson into the team. Came back in, and he probably would have got to 100 if he didn't have to retire hurt. But my concern is how hurt is he, and whether that kind of messes with the team a little bit, or you think it's inconsequential whilst they've had this great start.
He's been such a good player, and so that I can understand. I mean, what he must do for them in the dressing room, on the field, all that kind of stuff. I suppose a hard one for Young. He just gets the first ball strangled down the lead side, and then manages to play nasty in the next game. Yeah, I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. If he is niggled, the good thing is you've got a person who steps in automatically without too much mess or fuss. And he did look like he needs as many gallops as he can possibly get, because although he got that score, his timing, the rate that he was going at wasn't quite where we know he's capable of. Maybe it's got to do with playing in Chennai as well. But I think at the back end of the tournament you want him. That experience you want him.
Yeah. Last one is India. Weight of expectation. Kohli played nicely, so did KL Rahul. Rohit Sharma's got a score. Bumrah's looking good.
I think they're all good. I mean, I must admit, when they come into this tournament, I watched a bit of the highlights in their games against Australia. And batting wise, it just looks so good. It looks quality. Bowling wise, they've got all the boxes ticked of what they're going to do. The surfaces will be made to suit them. I don't think the expectation, they're kind of into it already. They're into the tournament, that part. I think the expectation will come again at the back end.
Okay.
I can't see them missing out on the semis. That's almost impossible. But that expectation, semis and finals time, I think that'll be the big issue for them to deal with after this game that we're watching on TV today.
Yeah, we're watching India, Pakistan. We're reflecting on week one. New Zealand, India, South Africa, so far are the three teams of week number one. Even though, yes, Pakistan's won a couple, but those three have been particularly impressive in the way that they've gone about. Thanks, Pommie. Thank you guys for watching, and
we might be in the same position a bit later. Watching the rugby.
Exactly. There's another World Cup going on, by the way. Yeah, for those who are interested. All right, ciao for now.